like Iron Man. Break the wrist, walk away. Name that movie.
I have no idea.
First one, thank you.
So we've got the current NFL MVP, the superstar quarterback from the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, in here today. I've heard Josh is a fanatic golfer. His coach, Jamie Mulligan, who's right up the road here from us at TPI, one of the best coaches in the world, works with Josh and heard a lot of great things. Looking forward to working with Josh and see what he's got. Hey everyone, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. If you enjoy content like this, the best thing you can do to help support our channel is hit the like and subscribe button below. If you do that, we'll notify you once new content's launched. Thanks for watching my TPI. Let me just get the basics real quick. Okay, how tall are you?
6'5".
Are you right-handed in everything you do?
Everything.
Okay. Shoe size?
13.
Lower back's good?
Lower back's good.
Hips are good?
Hips are good.
Knees?
Left one's a little tighter than the right. I think it's just a product of what I do, of just always throwing on it.
Okay. Knees, no issues there. Ankles, never had bad stuff there.
Nothing that caused time, but
okay. But yeah, twisted.
Ankles playing basketball.
No LASIK, anything up here? Okay, nice. That's actually pretty small list for your job.
Yeah.
That's best part of your game.
Probably short game minus the putting. So just put a wedge in my hands, I feel pretty confident.
So distance wedges and all that.
Distance wedges.
Chipping, pitching, all that.
Short irons are really good. Long irons are no bueno.
Okay, so wedges is your superpower.
Yes.
And then if there was a weakness, it'd be long iron?
Long irons, and again, just depending on my timing with my driver, it could be a superpower, it could be a major weakness.
Tell me about it. What do you mean timing?
I just feel like I'm flippy right now, and like the timing, if it's working and I'm on time and I can time it up right, it's going to go far. When
players say flipping the club, what you have to think here is that they're coming into contact and the face is not square, so they're trying to square the face up as fast as they can. That's very much a timing issue. Sometimes you got to turn it more, sometimes you turn it less, sometimes it's more open, closed, and it can lead to some big accuracy problems. So that helps us get an idea of what we need to dig into a little further. I don't want to assume anything. I always say, imagine you're walking down the beach, you find a bottle, you rub on it, and a genie pops out, and let's say I'm your genie, and I can give you 3 wishes today for your golf game. How can I help?
I want to hit the center of the face of my clubs more consistently.
Okay.
I want to understand the sequencing of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And then just like overall, like just swing concept, I want to have a good idea of like, if I'm off, how do I get back on track and how to fix it.
No searching. I always say that's the worst thing in golf, searching. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna start with the physical screen. This is probably the easiest part. We use an app so that you can leave here with all the data. That way you can have it.
Heck yeah.
So I'm gonna put all that in there. This is what we build with our players. Well, let's do it. So Josh's 3 wishes are, I think, some really good wishes, right? This is something that I think most players want. They want better contact, so more center face, square face contact. When you're not hitting the center of the face, you never know what kind of shot's gonna come out, right? Number 2 is, he said, I wanna understand my sequence. Now this is something I know from Josh's past. Josh has a biomechanist, good friend of mine, Chris Hess, who actually worked with his throwing mechanics in football. And he found early on in Josh's career that his sequence, his timing of how he used his lower body, his trunk was off, and it really helped Josh. So I think he's going, hey, I want to make sure my sequence is good in golf too, because if it helped me in throwing, I think it helped me in golf. And then his last one, I think, is the number one thing that every great player doesn't want, and that's searching. You know, we've all felt this. You go on the golf course and everything's great, and all of a sudden you hit that bad shot. You try and make a little correction, and you get a bad shot the other direction, and then you try and make a correction after correction, and nothing's working. Now you're searching, right? There's nothing worse than searching. You want to know, like, hey, when the ball goes right, do this, and this fixes it. When the ball goes left, do this. So I think all great players want better contact. They want to make sure all their sequencing is efficient, and they want to make sure that when something's off, they don't have to search, they know what to do. Imagine you're standing in a barrel. The barrel's electrified. Don't touch the sides of the barrel, just twist, but don't move your shoulders. Don't move your shoulders. I'm gonna hold here, just rotate. Either way, direction feel harder?
No, not necessarily. Maybe going this way?
Yeah, going right looks a little worse to me too. Okay, now don't move your lower body, just rotate your upper body. Pin that lower body, don't move it at all. Is that easier?
Yeah.
Okay. Keeping your heels on the ground, how low can you squat? Can you stay down there? Does it bother anything? Can you go any lower or are you gonna fall over? Can you make a fist with your hands? Can you bring your hands down by your footprint outside or are you gonna fall?
I'm gonna fall.
Where do you feel that?
My
It looks like you have
toes.
more weight over here. Do you have more
Okay.
weight on your left?
Eh,
If I say that, can you tell?
no.
Okay, come back up for me. And keep it in a straight line and come straight towards me. And now compare to the left, doing the same thing. Femur in line.
Actually, maybe my right.
Yeah, I think the right's first. Okay, take both hands onto your right knee and pull to your left shoulder.
Right middle left shoulder?
Now left knee to right shoulder, either one tighter.
Probably my right.
So back to that right side again. Okay, 29.41. So everything rotating right's harder. Not by a lot, but a little. Okay, come on up. All right, so the first thing we jump into is our TPI movement screen, and it's pretty evident right away that Josh has more restrictions on his right side. It's hard for him to rotate to the right with his lower body. His right ankle has more limitations than his left ankle. Even if I check the strength and the stability, like his right glute, it's a little bit weaker than his left glute when we were checking a bridge. Interesting, like I think he might have thought maybe the left was worse, but definitely I'm seeing more right-sided issues. Go left, back to center. Either way feel easier.
Left side feels easier.
5-iron posture again. Take your right arm out and rotate. And left. Okay.
Left one.
Yeah. And let's go out here. Flex and extend. No problem. And switch. Tell me if either one's tighter.
Right one. Slightly. They're both pretty tight though.
But still, we had right one
Right
keeps
one
showing
keeps
up. Seeing a theme.
Yeah.
That gives me an idea of your movements. I think it was pretty clear rotating right is going to be the main thing we're going to look for. Doesn't mean that there's going to be a problem in your swing, but if there is, now I kind of know why there might be something there. And it's just really easy to get restrictions in your trunk and in your hips. We really want to pay close attention to the backswing. If you have a right-handed player and it's hard to rotate and move into your right, it's really difficult if you can't set the club properly in the backswing to be able to deliver properly on the downswing. All of these things can change where the bottom of your swing arc is. So in other words, if your platform is moving left and right, where your club hits the ground changes left to right. And now, depending on how much you moved right and left, it can lead to inconsistent point of contact, and it can lead to inconsistency in ball striking. So we're gonna do a couple little power tests here, just so I get an idea where your power's coming from. What's your driver club head speed? I'm assuming you can.
I mean, if I pump it 125, 126.
Okay, so
yeah.
Speed's really not an issue. 25.9. 27.1. That's pretty good. Be 6'5", be able to jump 27. That's impressive. 27.6. PGA Tour average is 23. Okay. You just did 27, so I can see why you can generate that club head speed. Wow. With these tests, I can almost predict your ball speed within 2 miles an hour. So far I can tell you're not lying to me.
Yeah.
I don't think you should quit your day job. So I don't know why it surprised me, but man, when we got through the power testing with Josh, you can see why he's such an incredible athlete, right? 6'5", 240 pounds, doing a vertical jump of 27 inches. I don't think most people realize how high that is with that amount of mass. It's incredible, right? The amount of power he's generating. So if I asked you, I'm going to divide your body into 3 parts. Put 28.3. And I said lower body, core, upper body. What's your most powerful part?
That order. Lower body, core, upper body.
You knew that.
I only work out my lower body and core. I don't like usually work anything out here just because I want to be
Mobile up there.
Build the more tight you are, and I want to be as elastic as possible throwing the ball.
I actually got you core, lower body, upper body.
Oh, okay. We'll
But
take
their core and lower body are like really close.
We'll take that.
That's pretty awesome. One of the really interesting things about his power is normally the lower body is the most powerful part of your body. With Josh, it's his core. Talk about such an advantage to have that strength in your core for not only just for transferring power from your lower body to your upper body, but for longevity, for protection of your back and protecting injuries. It's just, it's pretty rare to see that. So this is what I was telling you, the AI kind of looks at and gives you like a power rating. Imagine your lower body is a 27.5 horsepower engine, your core is a 28.25, and your upper body is a 25.75. Just so you know, those are all above PGA Tour average. So even when I say that this is weaker, it's not weak at all. If I look at your core over here, it's giving you a 28.25. That's 28% higher than our PGA Tour average, right? If I look at your lower body, it's 25% above PGA Tour average. And if I look at your upper body, it's 17% above. So everything's above. I mean, I don't see a weakness here. This is stuff like if you're like, I really need to be able to hit you know, my driver a little bit farther, we could kind of dial in where the weakness is. Now I want to watch you hit. So we're going to warm up. All right, so my impressions from the screen. Obviously, Josh is not like our normal golfer, right? Much bigger, much more powerful athlete, but I don't care who you are, everybody's got some type of issue. You get some mobility, you get some traumas. So as we're heading out to the range now, I'm kind of expecting to see some stuff in the backswing. I'm going to be looking to make sure that he's not losing posture, his spine tilts. Those are the things that could get him in trouble.
And I'm just trying to stabilize the face as much as possible. Like,
Your miss is left.
my miss with my irons is left.
Yeah.
Except when I get to long irons and then I go right.
That's usually that, or losing space can usually do that. What's your target right now?
I'm going for the middle of the three, the small little bond
Yep.
tree.
Yep. So just so we're on the same page. The little trees on the right side or the ones in the middle?
In the middle.
Okay, one in the middle. Just want to make sure.
Am I not aligned to it?
You just keep doing your thing.
Okay.
I'm starting to look at where he's aiming, and I'm seeing something that's very common with a lot of amateurs. He looks like he's way right of his target, right? And I'm looking at the line across his heels, and I'm looking at his target, and I mean, it looks like he's 20, 30 yards right of his target. Now, this is something that could also create those two misses. A lot of times visually, when you get a target really far away, your alignment gets off farther the farther the target is, right? So if I've got a target that's 200 yards out, I might be aiming 40 yards right of it, but if I got a target that's only 100 yards out, I might be closer. So maybe his alignment's getting worse as the club gets longer. And if I'm aiming to the right, what I have to do is to hit the ball to the target, I have to come over the top, I have to steer my path out to in. Now that closes the face. So what most players do is, because the face is closed, they open the face and it creates the miss out to the right. So alignment could be a big deal here.
It's typically like a thin little right shot with my long irons.
Got it. Let me see if he picks up. See if there's anything he wants me to know.
Hey, buddy.
What's up, bud? Hey, I got your boy here. I just wanted to know if there's anything I need to know. I got you on speaker. I got you on speaker here. He's just warming up. Just wanted
I
to.
can hear you, so say good things.
Like at the end of the day, based on his anatomy, his overall plane was really low to his spine angle. You know, he was playing at a plane for about like a guy 5'8", as opposed to his height. So I think getting his plane so it's more up on line, and he's done a really masterful job of that. He's really good at talking to his body. I think just teaching him to load and coil around his right leg and then trying to leave his upper body alone and let his lower body unwind and not think shit about the golf club.
And guess what we found the hardest in the gym?
Yeah, I imagine.
Rotating right.
You take what you think is the best video of him.
Yep.
To send it with him or to send it to me.
Yep.
And then we'll see him tomorrow and dial that in.
Certain club you want?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I think, as big as he is when he struggles, as the club gets longer, the driver's obviously going to become an issue.
Yep.
But off playing at that big, it's just going to accentuate the misses, right?
Sounds like a plan. You got it, buddy. I'll set it out. Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Jay.
Sorry we couldn't send you a better athlete to work with.
Exactly.
We'll try to do better
Exactly.
next time. Okay. All right. All right. Tell him
See
I look forward to seeing him tomorrow. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Interesting that he said, I want you to load on your right leg better.
Yeah.
And then it always matches up. You said with the driver, the typical miss is the block, though, not the left.
It is, but then it's...
You got both. You got both.
Yeah, I got both.
Yeah.
The high and right spinning one.
Yeah. So first observation of watching him hit, I'm seeing two misses. You never want two misses, right? If you're going to have a miss, you want to have a consistent miss. That way you know how to manage your game. But if you've got both in there, that can be very frustrating. So I can see where Josh wants better contact here. One of the characteristics that can do this is called early extension. So this is something I've talked about in the backswing. If you can't rotate, sometimes you'll move towards the golf ball. As you stand up, you invade the space between you and the golf ball. Now that space, I always say, is the most valuable real estate in the Monopoly board here, right? It's basically the only spot where your hands and club are supposed to travel. But if your lower body moves into that space, your hands and club only have two options. They either are going to go in front, which creates the shot to the right, or you're going to get sick of that and you're going to start to flip the hands over and it's going to go left. Well, Josh was complaining of flipping the club, right? So that could be the way he gets his short irons in there, he flips it over, and then when he gets to the long iron, maybe he's trying to create a little more power, maybe he early extends more, doesn't have time, and he leaves the block out to the right. These are just first impressions watching. You look at a lot of video on golf and stuff like that?
I try to.
You do? Technique stuff? So like if I showed you your swing on video, you critique it, you can kind of go through and say what you like, what you don't like?
Not necessarily, no.
Okay. All right, we might do that, just to get an idea. Like to know what you think. Yep.
Again, I don't know if I'm like it's just in terms of my swing. I guess it's a Jamie question, just like positioning where I should be, where I shouldn't be.
Okay.
Like every time I take it back, it's a little different.
Yeah.
Which that's also a problem.
I think we'll go over that because, like you said, one of your wishes was to not search, so at least you'll know what to look at. Just do that every time.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're swinging hard?
No.
When you play, do you feel the same thing? You feel like you kind of?
Like it just depends. If I'm playing by myself or with a couple buddies, I swing like this. You add some people, and then it's like.
Let me see. Go after one. That's very different, by the way.
Yeah.
Let me see you do that again. See, I like swings that the harder you get, the better they get. So under pressure, you got, so go hard. You definitely get this tendency to, like, you were aiming at those two little trees on the right,
Okay.
like on the right side of the fairway. That's where you were. Now you're better. Now, but you have a tendency to aim right. Be careful on that. So we're just going to start with that real quick. I mean, tell me how you line up. Put a ball down and walk me through. Like,
so that's probably something I should start doing, like picking the targets.
Well, what do you normally do?
I just get up here. I don't really take practice swings. I would just kind of like, but now I feel like I'm way
like
right.
put the club behind your heels. And just put the shaft right against her. Yeah, come over here. Anytime I see somebody aiming right, I'm going to check it. So the first way I check it is I have them drop a shaft down behind their heels, and then I look to see where that shaft is pointing versus where they think the target is, right? And you can see very clearly with Josh, he is way right of his target. Now just think about that. If you said you're aiming for that short tree, right?
I'm really aiming in between.
You're in between those over there. So now to get the club on that plane, what do you have to do with the?
Come across it.
You have to, or else it's going to start right or hook or right. So how do you, yeah? So okay. So there's a couple methods. Take your hands like this. And look at my nose through your hands. Okay, so you're right eye dominant, pretty strong. Now the next thing I always look at is eye dominance, right? You're either right eye dominant or left eye dominant. If you're right eye dominant and you play right-handed, we call that same side dominant. If you're left eye dominant and you play right-handed, we call that cross dominant. There tends to be a disadvantage for people who are same side dominant, like Josh, because your nose is in the way. When you set up your right eye, your dominant eye, your nose is in the way. So it makes you have to move your head to be able to line it, and it can create some really weird lines with vision. So there's a couple strategies that you can do to overcome this if you're a same side dominant player like Josh. The first thing we can do is we can pick a spot, either behind the ball or in front of the ball, and try and line up to the spot. Don't look at the target, bring the target closer, because now your nose is in the way, you can see the spot. So we're going to try a couple methods here. So the first method would be the most common, which is a spot alignment. So you come over here, you pick your target, take the small tree, and you look for a spot of grass right here, close. That's in line, on the line. And then all you're going to do is you're going to walk over and line up parallel to that line that you on the spot. And then when you're done, drop the club behind your heels and see how you did. Okay, now we got a chance. Okay, go ahead and put it down. So now I look at this and I'm like, okay, now we're in line, right? Because think railroad tracks over there. Yeah. So that worked good. Sometimes right eye dominant likes a spot behind the ball.
That little brown spot, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes with right eye dominant, you might be better here. Most people do over here, but it's something experience. You did really well with the one in front. Let me see you do that with a 6-iron real quick. So you've never done spot alignment before?
No, not really.
Okay.
Yeah. So what were you?
Because if you're aiming right, it doesn't matter what I tell you. It's gonna everything. Yeah. You'd have to modify it. So let's go same small. Let's pick a different one. Let's go to that big tall tree right there. And the better the course, the harder it is to find a spot. Okay, now don't move. I want you to put the club behind your heels, and then put this at your spot.
At my spot?
Where was the spot? You can move now. Where was the spot?
It was this little inside this little.
Okay, so
Still right, huh?
Yeah, look at your spot too. Spot's right too, right?
Okay. Let's try that again.
Notice how if the spot's off, you're going to be off.
Yeah.
That's money. Okay, so I think you just need to practice that. But when you do it right, that's good. Now, when you set up to hit like there, do you feel like you're way left?
Yeah.
See, I think you've been aiming right for a long time. Like this feels way open to you.
I feel like I'm aiming at the 2 little trees there.
Yeah, that's almost what I think you're going to have to feel. So spot alignment is the most popular, or what you do is you get rid of this side view, and what you do is you pick a spot and you come over here. You square up to the spot and you walk in this way.
Gotcha, okay.
The second way you can do this, what we call binocular vision. In other words, go to the side of the ball, get yourself squared up to the spot in the line, and then walk straight into the ball versus walking in sideways. I always like to experiment with both of those because one of those usually makes a significant difference. You'll see some guys do some of that too. You just have to experiment with which one you like. I think the first one, the first spot in front, it worked for you, but you can experiment with those.
Okay. Okay.
You'll see it's very different visually doing that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And what were you aiming at?
Big tree there?
Now you're way left.
Okay.
That was too far left. So actually, I like the spot better. The thing that works best for Josh seems pretty obvious. It's spot alignment. He just picks a spot close to the ball in front of the golf ball, takes the time to make sure he lines up to that, and then goes to the target. So line up to the line first, then look at your target. I think it's pretty obvious that's the one that gives him the most success. Now I'm going to go over one more thing, just basic stuff while we're here. Ball position. Tell me how you do ball position.
I mean, I think really once I get to the 6, I start moving it just left of center. And typically 7, 8, 9, I'll play middle. When I get to my wedges, I play slightly back, and then obviously driver is kind of left inside of my left foot. And
remember when I tell you this, you can win the Masters doing anything.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you what the majority of players do.
Okay.
I'll show you what Nicholas talked about in his book. If you take your feet and just put them like this close together and put the ball between your feet. Now turn your left foot out just a little bit. Good. Now take your right foot and just move it just a little bit. There's his wedge.
Okay.
Now take your right foot and move it all the way back. Keep going. That's the driver.
Okay.
He never changed this.
Gotcha.
He basically
stayed pretty much left.
Jack, Byron Nelson used to always say the ball can never be too far forward and you can never be too close, right? So most guys, the ball's way forward. It's very rare, unless they're hitting a specialty shot, to see the ball past the center of the stance or back.
Gotcha.
Most guys are forward. There's something in your swing that's important, because we'll talk about that a little bit, that I think the ball might be too far back on you.
Okay.
So I would say, and you have to ask Jamie, you can ask him this tomorrow, I would never let the ball get past the middle of your stance. Most amateurs tend to have the ball too far back and they tend to be too far away from the golf ball. Josh is a classic example where it looks like his ball position is getting too far back. Now this can be due to many things, but most of those things are not good for your golf game, right? It tends to make you hang back, you tend to hit thin shots, you tend to hit, or just hit bad contact on your shots. So I think we need to explore that.
In terms of like a 6-iron, how would we do that?
So a little bit wider, that'd be your 6-iron. Driver be a little bit wider, wedge is a little narrow, he never changed it. Like he wanted to get rid of a variable, you know what I mean? Like more variables, but notice it's never back. What that does, it makes you go after it, like it makes you go left and go after the ball.
Oh.
A little different, right?
Yeah.
Try even more. For almost all players, ball position tends to change even during a round and over time, right? Even your professional players, sometimes the ball position, all of a sudden it'll start to creep back or creep forward. But with amateurs, this is a huge problem. It's like every shot, it's almost like the ball position is in a different place. You want to eliminate as many variables as possible, and that's one that you should be able to eliminate. If you practice and you set up with the same ball position every time, you'll get good at it. Even if it's bad, you'll still get good at it. If it keeps changing, it's hard to get good at something, and it can lead to lots of problems. If the ball's back, you tend to hang back. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or you have to release the club early to get it back there, whereas if it's farther forward, you can go after it. Okay, now watch, drop the club behind your heels. This is death, right? You do this is death. Come back over here and look, just want you to see. That's, if you don't do your spot, that's what I was seeing.
Oh, that's
I mean, just think about it. The only way to hit that tree is you have to do something really strange.
okay.
To me, that's like if like I said, we can talk about anything swing-wise, but if you're aiming over there and the ball's far back, nothing's gonna matter.
You like that better?
Yeah, a hell of a lot better.
Good there?
Yeah, I mean, that's, you don't go any more right than that. That's perfect. Good, the ball's a little farther forward than you used to? Yeah, now just go after it. Yeah, that was good. Notice how it almost hit a little bit behind the ball there?
Yeah.
Because you're used to the ball being back there. And you're going to see, no, that's not, you actually release it early.
Okay.
I'll show you that on video in a second. But in other words, there's 2 ways to do this. Did Jamie ever mention casting or anything like that? So one of the most common characteristics we see with amateurs is something called casting. And this comes from fishing, as if you're casting a fishing rod. Normally what happens in a golf swing is on the downswing, the shaft and your lead arm will actually create more lag. In other words, the angle between the shaft and your forearm becomes more acute on the downswing. You are storing this angular velocity of the club. You're kind of moving your hands linear, and then you're going to let the club go when it's appropriate, when it's close to impact. But a lot of players release the club early from the top. That's called casting. Now, anytime you do that, you're going to lose power. But the other problem is casting can change the orientation of the club face. Obviously, as you release the club, the face is opening or closing depending on what you're doing with your hands. And a lot of times when players say they're flippy, that might be a way of describing casting. I'm trying to get the club face square and I'm using my hands to flip it back in front. And like I said, that creates timing issues, contact issues, and it can create some power issues. Watch this. If I go to hit this ball, right, normally there's forward shaft lean all the way down, and then they're going to compress. If they do this, we call that casting.
Gotcha.
It's like fishing, right? You get to the point where you get here and you release the club early, but I think it might be because the ball's back here.
Yeah.
Right, and you're trying to get to the ball. If the ball's forward, you can maintain that longer.
Even like sometimes when I try to do those drills, we're like trying to
Yeah.
control the, I can't do it.
When you say flipping, this is what's happening. This is going this way, and that's what's creating the face going left. You'll see it on video pretty clear when we get there. So I move that ball forward. Make sure you're aiming at the right target. Let's just hit a couple of those and then we'll go in the lab. Like watch, put the club on your heels right now.
Still right?
No, just put it down there and come over here and look. You get any more right than that, and you're in trouble.
Okay.
Like that's almost still right side of the tree, right?
Okay. You want me to aim left side of it?
If you're gonna air right now, you need to aim left of the tree, not right of the tree.
Okay.
Yeah, any air now, left and ball too far forward, good. Yeah, that was so good. Now you can release it. That was great.
Now release it, you're saying?
So see that where that ball started?
Yeah.
Well, just hit another one. I think you, without me even telling you, I think, like Jamie said, I think your hands might just respond. Yeah, that flight right there is phenomenal. Every shot's gonna get better and better there.
I feel like I'm just like on this left foot, like kind of like
Okay.
trying to get out of the way.
So here's what we're gonna do. Do you feel like you're warm?
Yeah.
Let's go get some data before we go any farther, right? Because I have a good idea what I think we have to do, but I don't like guessing. And again, drop the club. You're dead. drop the. You were literally like 10 yards right of that tree there. I'm telling you right now, the best thing I can help you with, no matter what we do, is after every shot, you should walk back here, pick a spot, and line up again. It'll make you such a better player. I think one of the most important things in golf is having a process before you hit a ball. Call it your pre-shot routine, call it your process, call it whatever you want. It's a consistent methodology of being able to repeat the same process over and over again. And in that process is where you can eliminate variables, right? We can make sure, okay, I'm gonna make sure my stance width is here, I'm gonna make sure the ball position's here, I'm gonna make sure my hands are over here. And those things, they don't sound like a big deal, but if every time you swing, those are different, man, it's so easy to see why the ball flight would be different from shot to shot. But if you start to eliminate those, and the best way to eliminate those is to make sure there's a checklist. It's like a pilot before they take off, they have a checklist. A golfer should have a checklist of things that you go through just to eliminate the variability, and you're gonna see how much easier it is to hit a shot. Because you've been aiming right for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm sure in competition it's even more.
Okay there?
Yeah, don't go any more right than that. That's as far right as you can go. Good. Yeah. Okay, let's
What you need?
let's get some data. Let's do it. That's so common. Just if
It's like little stuff though, like.
but just think about it.
tells
Like,
you.
yeah. I mean, but just think. If you're aiming right, but you think the target's left, where do you think you're going to swing to?
You're gonna swing.
Because if you swing to the right, you're going to miss it 40 yards right.
Yeah.
Right? Or you're going to have to flip the club over to get to the left.
That's
It's
almost
gonna-
sometimes like when I'm on a course and I try to play the cut and I
Yeah.
actually open my stance.
Yeah.
I hit it straight, but I'm trying to hit a cut, but it's gonna go straight because
Yep.
maybe
You're
now
probably
I'm
at the
more
target
on
now.
My feet and more on target.
100%. I mean, it's the same thing. If in football, if you're trying to hit a target and you're aligned right at the target, you're going to have to come around your body, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what you're doing. Okay, so now we're going to go into the lab and I'm going to get some data. Now, just quick observations from watching him swing. Number one, I know we've got an alignment issue, aiming too right at the target. That forces him to kind of come a little over the top to get to his target and cast and early release the club. There is a potential that there might be some movement towards the golf ball, some early extension. And the other thing that I think we're seeing here is we're seeing a little bit of tilt of his spine towards the target, like a little bit of reverse spine angle. All of these things kind of correlate to what we saw in the gym with immobility in the backswing, but the 3D is going to really help, and the force plate are really going to help us quantify if these are happening.
I like to nerd out about this stuff.
Cool.
Like,
So you sound like you're a more information guy than a less information kind of guy.
give me everything you got, yeah.
Okay. First thing I always like to say, like, if you're going to watch your swing, tell me what you like, what you don't like what are you looking at?
Driver, I like my head kind of staying on the right side of my body. Is that good?
Staying on the right side of your body, not getting left early.
Correct.
Absolutely. The way we like to say it is the middle of your head should be to the right of the middle of your pelvis. So in other words, if I look at this, you're kind of leaning towards the target.
Okay.
Like if you go look at your partner here in a couple of days, he'll be leaning away from the target. Right?
Now, is that different for iron play?
Nope.
No, same thing.
Everyone should be like that, right? So you do get a little bit, like we call that reverse spine angle. You start to lean toward. Yep.
It's kind of, sometimes I get that in my throwing motion too. believe
Do
it or
you?
not. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So that's, now you think about it, like it's also a product of how well you can rotate to the right.
Yeah.
If you don't like to rotate right, you can go left. So that could be physical there too. Okay, keep going. Anything you see?
I think it's just that early release.
Yeah, you can see like when your hands get over your left leg, like here, I'm gonna bring, okay.
He's saying just so far back on
Look,
it.
no, look, see where his hand, here's Justin Thomas's, here's hands over his left leg.
Yeah.
And the club is here.
Parallel, basically.
When yours gets to your, you can see by the time here, it's already, I mean, look how lower the club is,
Yeah.
right?
Now, is that a product of, like, I'm just trying to keep that angle in my wrists, or is that more turning? Is that like, what does that have to do with?
So great question. So this is called casting, right? Or early release. Casting can be due to, the most common, it can be due to many things, but the most common is that the energy starts in the upper body earlier than it should. So in other words, it's kind of like if you have a whip, you start with the handle of the whip, energy starts with the handle of the whip and it travels down the whip. If I start from the handle of the whip, it might take 2 seconds to get to the tip of the whip. If I start in the middle of the whip, it gets to the tip of the whip earlier.
Yeah.
So if you're
less power though.
Yeah, it's less power, and like I said, if you're starting in the middle of your whip and you didn't start with the lower body, it'll get to the club earlier. That's
Gotcha.
one reason. It could be the ball's too far back and I need to release to get to the ball back, because if I didn't, I would miss the ball, right? Go right over the top of the ball. But for sure, you're casting, right?
Okay.
Now the problem with casting, as you can see, as you come through, right?
But it's just turning, and it's just the timing of.
Now it's a timing swing.
Yeah.
Like you said, when timing's on, it's beautiful. When timing's off, you're like, "Ooh, I got both." If I didn't release it in time, it's going to go off to the right. If I release it too much, it's going to go left.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? The other thing that can cause casting is, think of this: if I get my upper body here, right?
Yeah.
And I maintain the angle, and the ball's back. Like I said, I might go over the top of it. So I might be trying to release this because I'm over here. So I feel like we've got to get you, like what you said, get your head more to the right.
Yeah.
Is that something you work on in football too?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to stay like this.
I think it's good. I think this could help with both, because we got lots of strategies to try and do that. So I think over here, and then I think it would move the ball forward. You can maintain this lag, and then the face won't have to rotate as much.
Yeah.
We're looking at the video, and it's very clear to me there's a reverse spine angle. And the good news is it's clear to Josh. And he even said that in his quarterback mechanics, when throwing, he has the same problem, which I love to hear that it's consistent, that he tends to get his trunk maybe a little bit in front of his lower body. And he's like, that's something that I look at and I'm like, good, because I think that's a big deal here, right? I really feel like that reverse spine angle might be one of the biggest reasons why he has some timing issues, and it might be affecting his long irons more than anything.
There was one drive where I tried to hit a big, put it in the air. There's
Yeah.
one you're like, just do that every time.
Yeah.
I literally tried to feel like I was like going forward but staying staying here.
I whispered to one of these guys, I'm like, I wish he would go after it every time, because I thought it was a better swing. Yeah, I always say, please don't make golf unathletic.
Yeah.
You're an athlete, dude. Make it athletic,
Okay.
right? Everybody, for some reason, tries to make golf unathletic. Let's take a look at down the line. So what do you like here?
Head outside the hands, which is okay, but I'm coming across it pretty big, huh?
So you want the head to the right of the hands, you're saying? That's what
Yes.
you want to see? Okay.
Is that typical though, or no?
So, well, you tell me what you want first and we'll go through what's typical.
Still just not, I don't know. I wish I could tell you what I'm seeing, but I don't even know if it's good or bad.
Okay.
But I just know that club face is fairly open.
Yep.
And down at the bottom, again, it's just the timing aspect of trying to flip it.
Okay, so here's how I draw a line up the shaft of the club. That's the original shaft plane line, we call it, right? I'm going to take you to where your lead arm, your left arm, is parallel with the ground. And I draw another line here. That creates what's called the slot.
Okay.
To figure out if a player is on plane or not, we use a simple method. We take them at setup, we draw a line through the shaft of their club. We call that the original shaft plane, right? Then we take them back in their backswing until their lead arm gets parallel with the ground. And then we draw a line on the shaft of the club again. That creates two lines, typically they're close to parallel, called the slot. 99% of players will actually, in the downswing, they will drop the club below their backswing plane into that slot. When they do that, we say, you're on plane, right? What it allows the players to do is it allows them to shallow early and then they can steepen late. I always like the club to exit left after they impact. If they actually come over the top, if they go steep early, they're too steep on the downswing, so then they try and shallow late and it can create all kinds of weird misses. Okay, 95% of tour players on the downswing are going to come in that slot, just like you are right there.
Okay.
If you do that, I'm going to say, okay, you're on plane, at least in transition. You're not coming over the top. You're not doing those things, which is great. Now I come to impact. Okay, I come to impact, and now I'm going to erase those lines. Now what we do is we draw the impact plane line. Okay, so the first one was kind of like, I want to make sure that you're not just starting with your upper body, you're staying on plane. Now I want to make sure you're on plane when it matters. When it matters is from club parallel to club parallel. That's the red zone, the go zone, right? So from halfway down, you're under, and then as you go through, you're above. Okay. So you're coming from in to out. So your typical miss from in to out would be a hook, right? Or a push block. So one of the most important things for controlling the flight of the golf ball is what we call the plane of the club in the red zone. The red zone is when the club gets parallel to the ground on the downswing to parallel on the follow through, right? If I trace that plane that the golf club makes and you can keep the club head on that plane the entire time, usually you can hit the ball pretty straight. On Josh, you can see his club goes a little bit underneath the impact plane and then it goes above after impact. So we know his club is traveling from in to out. Now that can lead to two types of misses. If the face is open, it'll lead to the block. The ball will go out to the right. If you're flipping the club, because you're going from in to out, when you hit the ball, it creates a draw or a hook pattern and it ends up left of your target. Now, if you were out to in, then the typical would be a cut or a pull. You know what I mean? So you have the in to out misses right there, right? Now, here's the thing about that is, why are you in to out so much? I'd rather be on plane, which Jamie was saying, like, hey, we can just get you on plane. So what you do is you bring the club up, right? Then you drop it under and then out. So it's kind of this little loop over there. Yeah. So think about that move right there. This move, I always say there's planing mechanisms, ways to get the club on plane. Right? You can use your wrists to get the club on plane. You can use your shoulders to get the club on plane, or you can use your body. Body is a shallowing. So I think that's kind of what happens with you is you start to lean this way, you start to release the club early, and you shallow this way and it gets under to out. That's kind of your, that make sense? I exaggerated it, but that's kind of what we need to work on. Okay, with that in mind, again, I can see it, but I don't know exactly how or what you're, so now I'm gonna just get some data so I can go, just do this, okay? But I do, for sure, wanna make sure you're never aiming right and the ball's not too far back for this pattern. Okay, so, and honestly, that might clean up a lot of it right there, okay? And the scary thing is, if you don't cast, you'll actually compress the ball more and it's gonna go farther. You already hit it far, it's gonna, I mean, that's a good thing. So the video tells me what he's doing. I can see what Josh is doing. I can see he's got a little reverse spine angle. I see he's releasing the club early. But if I wanna know how he's doing it, now I need to go look at the ground reaction forces or the force plate. So I, as a coach, can literally step inside my player's body and feel what it feels like. That's such an advantage for a coach to be able to feel what the player's doing so I can describe to them what they can do to fix it. I'm excited to see what the force plate looks like.
Double plate ready. Double plate ready.
We didn't come here to lay up. Go after this thing. Okay? Here we go.
Double plate ready.
You can hear the sound. That was better. 6 iron.
Double plate ready. Double plate ready. Double plate ready.
Perfect. Let's grab Which long iron do you want to look at?
Go 4-iron?
4-iron. That's good.
Double plate ready.
We'll just get one more of those. I just want to make sure there's no big difference between the driver, the 4-iron, and the 6, that you're not doing something weird with the long irons.
Double plate ready.
Sweet. Okay, we're going to take a look at that real quick. Okay. All right, so normally on a force plate, we're looking at driver, a mid club like a 6-iron, and we usually do a wedge. But when a player says, hey, I'm struggling with my long irons, we're going to look at a 4-iron. So as I'm starting to look at the data, it's pretty obvious I got an athlete in front of me. We got your 4-iron up here. And what we did is we tagged your swing, and what I did is I put 4 graphs. Guess what these 4 graphs are? Lateral, rock, twist, jump, right? I put a yellow dot on where those peak, right? And I'm gonna look to see which yellow dot happens first. So in your swing, we're going, and the first yellow dot is lateral, fist pump. That's what I like to see. Next one, rock,
Nice.
twist. That's the perfect sequence.
This was honestly one of my better swings, too.
Well, here's the good news. I was looking at most of them. You're an athlete. I think you got the right kinetic sequence, right? So this isn't like I need to teach you how to be athletic. That's what I love, right? So I'm like, all right, it's got the normal sequence there. That's good. That's check 1, okay? So now, check 2, let's talk about the second thing we look at. Now, the sequence is important, but if the timing of when you do the sequence is off, like let's say you do it in the backswing, well, it's supposed to be in the downswing, it could be a problem. It takes time for those forces to make their way through your body to the club.
Gotcha.
So what we find is with the biggest hitters, best players, they tend to create the ground reaction forces early in their downswing, so they have time to transfer it to the tip. Like if you're hitting the ball and now you're creating your ground reaction forces, you're not using those, it's too late.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So what we do is we go to your last ground reaction force, which is vertical for you, right? That's your last one. And we go, okay, when did your last one occur in your swing? And we look at your swing. Typically what we see with a driver is your ground reaction forces will happen by shaft vertical.
Okay.
With an iron, it's somewhere between shaft vertical and shaft horizontal, like right kind of where it is. I'm like, that's actually pretty good, right? If it was like down here, I'd be like, dude, it's too late. Like you're not really, it's all upper body. So far, I'm like, sequence looks good, timing looks good. I'm like, hey, I'm really liking this, right? He's starting his forces in the right order. His timing is fantastic, right? We always want to make sure that the forces are done early. I look at his amount he's pushing lateral, the amount he's rock and rolling, the amount he's twisting, all the torques are great. Now we go look at magnitude, right? So now I'm gonna look at how much you go lateral, how much you rock, how much you twist, and how much you jump. And there's where I think the interesting thing comes up with your force plate. And I think it's gonna help us a lot to help you. Quizzing you, best basketball player of all time.
Michael Jordan?
Of course, what number?
23.
Average PGA Tour lateral is 23% of their body weight. You went 24%.
Okay.
Right? So I know you push hard.
Yeah.
You push more than a lateral. You're used to stepping. Rock and twist. If you make a basket in basketball, it's how many points? Normal?
Me, 3.
I like the way.
2 points.
In our game here, when you make a basket, you subtract 2 points.
Okay.
So if 23 is normal lateral, subtract 2, 21 is normal rock.
Okay.
19 is normal twist. So most people actually rock more than they twist, just by 2%, a
Gotcha.
little bit. So normally
Not
it's
too far off.
21, I'm like, actually, it's pretty close. They're pretty balanced. You're more of a twister than you are a rocker. Okay. Most tour players are more rocker than twist.
And that's
right?
this.
Twisting is this.
Rocking is
So
this.
twisting brings the club from behind you to front. Rocking brings it from a high to low.
Gotcha.
Yep. So you have a little more twist than you do rock. That's probably what Jamie told us, is that you have a tendency to get the club behind you, so you tend to twist more, where he wants you to go more up. You go more up, you'll rock more.
Gotcha. Okay.
He's instinctively great coaches like Jamie, they can kind of see this. And they're
Without
like,
seeing the data,
they're going, I need a little more rock. And I'm like, yeah, maybe that could help, right? But still, that's not bad. So laterals, I understand what Jamie's saying. And then we get to vertical. If I look at the average PGA Tour, it's 2 times their body weight. It's 200. Yours is 100.
even close.
Yours is 138. So I go, okay, sequence is great, timing's great. I think your lateral, your rock and twist is great. I'm like, why is he not jumping?
Yeah.
Right? And you got 27-inch vertical over there. I'm like, dude, we can hit the ball farther if we do this. So there's a couple of reasons why you might have low vertical in a golf swing. One of the most common ones is early extension. If you start moving towards the golf ball, it's hard to use your lower body and your upper body just kind of does the work. Another one is if you get your upper body in front of your lower body, like reverse spine angle, kind of like we saw with Josh on the video, right? If you start getting your upper body in front of your lower body, well, it makes sense that your lower body doesn't have all the force production because it's not in a great position to create power. Your upper body's more in a position. If you go that way,
Probably up. Huh?
if you go that way, you're not jumping that way,
Gotcha.
right? So I'm like, if we had a little more vertical, you'd probably go this way.
So that's on the way down. It should be like.
Yep. If you push it in the ground like you're going to jump, think of.
That's where like I feel like I conflate those ideas of like.
Yes.
Jump
Okay.
with this.
So watch this. We're going to get 3D here in a second, but I always think of, you ever water ski?
Yeah.
Okay. So if this is the boat, this is the skier, right? If the boat moves away from the skier whips.
Yep.
If the boat moves towards the skier, you create slack in the rope,
Yep.
right? Here's the skier, you're the boat, right? As I'm coming down, if I go this way, I'm creating slack in the rope,
Gotcha.
right? I want to move this way to whip the skier.
Gotcha.
That's why you see all the great players, I call them the cannonball. They look like a cannonball hit them. They're going this way as the club's going that way.
Like they on the practice range are doing this, right?
They're,
Like
basically
that
what they're
film
doing
or
is
some real stuff.
their head's staying, like their head's going down as their legs are jumping away. And it creates, so they're jumping this way. And that's why you see their butt go backwards. You just don't want to see the boat move towards the skier, right? So I think we might want to look at that. I think it's obvious if I'm going to throw a ball that I'm going to try and create force on the ground and create some pushing. When you look at a golf swing, it doesn't look like anybody's jumping. It looks like a very stable platform and you're rotating your upper body around this stable platform. I don't think it's natural to bend from your waist, tilt and rotate and feel like you should jump. But that's the farthest from the truth, what we see with the best players of the world. They are exploding from the lower body, using that energy to transfer. So your ratio of how much you're pushing from left to right is correct. I just think the direction you're pushing is not the right way.
Gotcha.
Right,
Am I
so
going more up than back?
I think you're going more forward.
More forward. Okay.
Yep. Here's what I just learned. Guy knows how to sequence, right? Guy knows how to do it in time. Magnitudes look great, except for vertical. Vertical's a little low, and it's going in the wrong direction. I think we can add a little bit of that.
Okay.
But I still am making an assumption that all those forces, now you transfer perfectly through your body. You can still screw it up somewhere over here.
Yeah.
So now we're going to look at that.
Okay.
Now we'll do that there, and then we'll give you the whole answer, just to make sure we're not guessing. In 3D motion capture, we can now quantify all the things that we've been looking at. We can see how much reverse spine angle he's got. We'll look at trunk bend and how much his trunk is extending. That gives us an idea of his reverse spine angle. We can look at things like lateral motion, like sway of the pelvis. We can look at what's called thrust or early extension, how much he moves towards the golf ball. These are the things that we really need to quantify right now so we can stop guessing. After each of these swings, 10 is like the best you could ever do. 0, I'm embarrassed I just did that. Just give me a number, okay? And I am ready whenever you are. Okay, so I go that.
7.
How'd you hit that one?
8.
Okay. Give me a second. I'm gonna look at that real fast. 1 second. 3D allows us to measure how efficiently he takes the power that he just created in the ground and transfers it through his body. We call that the kinematic sequence. We can see, remember he asked me for the genie, his second thing was, am I in sequence? I can now measure, do you sequence properly from the lower body to the trunk to the arms or to the club? Dude, look at you.
We're already getting better?
Man, I'm just saying, if the football thing doesn't pan out, there might be a golf career here. You got a good swing, man. That's really, really good. Interesting. So on these swings, is you didn't really early extend, you didn't move towards the ball. So your butt was staying in line here, but this was definitely going forward.
Yeah.
The head's getting to the left of your lower body, for sure. So we got good news, bad news here. I'm looking at the data. The good news, the really good news is there isn't the early extension I was expecting, right? So that's great. I was thinking that his lower body might be moving towards the golf ball, but I'm not seeing a lot of evidence here. So that's a great thing. Unfortunately, the reverse spine angle is very clear here, right? He already suspected this. He does this with his throwing mechanics. His trunk was getting out in front of his lower body, and that could literally describe everything we've been seeing. Your sequence is great. Man, your hands are so good. Like how you release the club too. I don't think there's a lot to do here. Go ahead and sit up like you're gonna hit. Imagine there's like an electric fence right outside your right leg. So one of my favorite drills for reverse spine angle is what we call reach over the fence or electric fence. We always say, just imagine you're standing on the ground and there's an electric fence right next to your back leg. If you move like 1 inch to the right, you'll get electrocuted. Okay,
Right outside the right leg.
if you touch it, you get 10,000 volts,
Okay.
right? But I want you to take the club back like you're trying to reach over the fence over here. And then we always say, imagine there's like a table on the other side of the fence. All I want you to do is reach over and grab something off the table. Imagine there's a table right here, and I'm gonna reach over the fence and over here. You're not getting over there. I want you to get over there, but don't touch the fence. Let me just see you take a backswing like that. Yeah, and go ahead and keep going. Take it all the way back. So I want you to feel like you're getting your upper body behind your lower body. Feel like getting the buttons on your shirt to the right of the zipper on your pants, right? It's very awkward for a reverse spine angle. They tend to hit the fence with their lower body and tilt their body towards the target. And the good news, like I said, is Josh works on this in his throwing mechanics, so he's really good at this. Yes. Now, does that feel like you're way behind your head?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see you do that one more time. Just don't touch the fence. Yeah, I like to capture one like that, just to see if that goes in the right direction. Okay, that's the cool thing about this technology, Josh, is I can give you a drill and see if it actually works, or say, stop doing that drill, right? Okay, so I'm ready when you are.
That was different.
Okay, let me take a look at that.
I actually feel like I hit the fairly high up in the face.
Okay, that's a good sign.
Good.
Let me take a look. Yeah. All right, hold on. Oh yeah, that was good. Okay. Yes, please. I want more of that. So the good news is when Josh does the drill, not only does the data look good, but even Josh says, wow, that felt different. And that's what you want to hear. You want to hear like, hey, it's a new motor pattern. It should feel different. I don't care if it looks different, it needs to feel different, then the player can actually replicate it. I think Josh knows what the good feeling feels like. He just needs to be reminded to do it in his golf swing. Let me just look at the one before that. That was a big change. That was great. Okay, here's the simple fix for you. Or here's the simple, I'm gonna show you the simple and then the thing you need to work on.
Yeah.
Okay, the simple thing is you need to line to your target and not line right to your target, okay? So that, number one, and that's not simple, by the way. That takes attention, good, but if you aim right, everything I tell you is not gonna matter, right? I definitely want the ball farther forward, right? You're going to, the hard part's going to be reaching over the fence without touching the fence, because it's hard for you to rotate right. If there's a physical restriction, it's there, but the more you do this, it actually loosens you up, right? So it's almost like doing stretching at the same time. So you're going this way versus this is a fake turn. This is a fake turn versus rotating, right? You might hit a couple heavy at first, because now if you release the club early, it's going to dump into the ground. And your hands will react. I think you'll figure out how not to do that. Okay. Man, your sequence is so good. It's perfect here. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Okay, so good.
Getting more rock there or roll?
Correct. That's it. There's a little more rock and roll there. See, what happens is you're shallow late in the swing. If you shallow early, you can steepen late, and you won't go under. Does that make sense?
Is that one? Can you feel like you can attack the ball? Like
I think, and that's why I think the speed's going to help you. Like the harder you go, because just remember, if I'm aiming right at my target, and my first move is here, and then this way, it creates that flipping. So a cool correlation here between the reach over the fence drill or getting your spine in the right angle and swing plane is that the more he turns and reaches over the fence, he's doing literally that. He's turning, he's rotating. A reverse spine angle is almost like a fake turn. You're just tilting, you're extending and tilting, and it takes the club up in the air. When you rotate, it takes the club more behind you and deep. The more behind you are, more deep you are, it's really easy on the downswing to shallow early so you can steepen late. This is a par 5. Get me there in 2 right now. This is like playing on Wednesday.
That was really good.
Okay, that's all I need. Okay, now I need you, now get over the fence. So just feel like you're reaching over the fence, but don't touch the fence. Take a look. Okay, that's all going in the right direction. At least when I'm telling you to do something, you know what I mean. Let me watch you go to the top of your backswing here again. Good. Come back to setup. So one of the things I'm always looking for is with the reverse spine angle is what the lower body is doing, because the upper body is getting towards the target in relationship to the pelvis. You're assuming it's because they're moving their upper body this way. Well, what if they're moving their lower body away from the target? A lot of times a sway accompanies a reverse spine angle. As their lower body moves to the right, their upper body leans to the left. I'm starting to see him when he's doing the drill. I see his lower body getting a little sloppy and getting a little sway. So I'm going to go to a resistance drill where I'm going to try and make him sway so he can activate the muscles that stabilize his lower body. But at the same time, I want to make sure he keeps reaching over the fence. Do that again. Don't touch the fence.
Don't touch the fence, okay.
But reach over there. That's the exaggeration.
Okay.
But you also feel your tightness when you do that.
Yeah.
Do that again. See you do that again. Yeah, that, and you can let the club set and go, but do that same. That's what you need.
Okay.
I mean, you notice that's harder. It's physically harder. So that's why I feel like
it's more athletic. It feels.
The other thing I think that's pretty obvious right now is that Josh can feel his physical restriction in his right hip now. Because when he does it properly, I think he's like, whoa, I can feel things loading that haven't been loading for a while. It's sometimes you just don't realize you've been avoiding these for a long time, but when you do it right, it's usually pretty obvious. We're gonna go hit some balls now, like this. I think it's pretty obvious what we gotta work on. So your biggest thing to me is reverse spine angle. That's called reverse spine angle. You have a little bit of a sway and a little reverse spine angle. it's almost what we predicted with the physical. It's hard for you to rotate right, so you've just created a path of least resistance.
Okay.
Best way to get rid of that resistance is to do it in your swing over and over again. You know what I mean? And you said you've been told you do this when you throw too?
Slightly, like when I'm throwing, I feel like get a little arch in the back.
Okay.
A little more heel dominant.
Gotcha. I like what he's doing. We can see the data's getting better, but now we got to take it to the turf. I want to see him do this on the grass, and I want him to be able to see ball flight. I think it's important for players to see the ball flight because he's probably going to hit a couple shots that he's never hit like this, and that's where the excitement comes in. Okay, so now all you're thinking about is like, I'm trying to push you over here. You're not letting your right leg touch the electric fence, but you're reaching over the electric fence. Yep. That was a good first one. Keep going. Put it to where you think it's perfect. I want your brain to match. Okay, so we'll just stay there. We'll make sure we line there. And it's really, I don't care how deep your arms go, it's just your head, your reach over the fence, yep. Yes, that was so good. Keep going. I want you to hit like 10 balls like this because I want to see if your hands, the casting just starts to react automatically because you might not even have to think about it. I would say that ball, don't let it go any farther back than that.
Okay. Right here. Okay, right?
Yep. Okay, now look at your target. Do you feel like you're way left?
Ish.
Okay, so make sure when you swing this time, make sure you feel like you're swinging a little out to the right.
Okay.
But don't change your alignment, yep. So now one of the big problems we're gonna run into here with Josh is that he's been aligning right of his target for a long time. So his feel, it's gonna feel like he's swinging left because if you're aimed 20 yards right of your target, you do need to swing left to get to your target. So as soon as we get you to align properly, even if you're a little bit left of your target, it's gonna feel really weird to swing out to the right because your body's so used to swinging left to make up for your visual alignment that you didn't even know you had. So I always feel like it's a good feeling for these players that have been aiming right for a long time to feel like they're swinging out to the right, even though it's probably square now.
Like that.
That was beauty. Keep going.
It's getting way up there too. What's tour average height?
100 feet.
100 feet?
Yep.
That's a little higher, you think?
That's a little higher, but that'll come down nice and soft. You got the speed, you can do that. It's getting better each time.
Yeah. I feel like it's just like,
Yep.
as I'm just trying to stay.
Yep, 100%. That's all you should be focusing on right now. You have a little bit of hitting the fence with your right leg in the backswing.
Okay. So just keep it a little planted there.
Just imagine I'm throwing you over. Nice. Notice how if I put that line there, it's either straight up or slightly away. It's not forward. But remember, you're not overdoing anything, right? But that's definitely the direction we want to go. Look how much straighter that is too.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't behind center. That's good. Your tendency is going to aim right and creep the ball back. Good. Reach over the fence. That's so good.
Even just like the divots, like,
Yeah.
don't feel like I'm
Correct. Get your trunk in front of your lower body and hit one.
trunk in front of the lower body.
Yeah, do the wrong way. Yeah. Look at the, I mean, it's like a glancing blow.
Yeah.
3 or 4 more and I want to check your release. I'm going to look at your release here real quick. It's 50% better, right?
Yeah.
But I want to go ahead and set up like you're going to hit. You ever play tennis?
Tennis?
Yeah.
Not really.
Okay.
So just like the forehand?
Show me a 2-hand, forehand. Yeah.
That's what it should feel like?
Yep, that's a release.
Okay.
So reach over the fence. That's close. So I was hoping that the release would just clear up and the casting would go away automatically. It was definitely an improvement, but sometimes you do need to just give great players just the feel, just one time. Like it's like, I want to step inside your body and just show you what it feels like real quick. So I'm going to show Josh what it feels like to maintain the lag a little bit longer. Okay, go to the top of your backswing, reach over the fence. Okay, now start to come down, start to come down. Here's what the best, now keep turning your body, keep turning your body. That's what the best players do.
Okay.
Do you feel that?
Yeah.
Do that again. So it's, notice when you're here, look where the shaft is here, versus go ahead and grip it normal, go to the top of your backswing. Okay, start to come down. This is what you do right now. You go right here, you start to lose this. We're just gonna keep this here longer, and as you rotate, there's the square face.
Okay.
Boom.
So is that, am I feeling that with my wrist of just like holding it in, or?
Where did you feel that?
My wrists, yeah.
Okay, let's
Like holding the angle?
let's try one. Let's see Everybody does it a little differently. Your hands were really good, so I think your feel with your hands makes sense. Let's do a couple of those. So what I want Josh to feel is what it feels like for a tour player to release the club. And what they're really good at doing is getting the club face back square, if not closed, to the target earlier, and then they use their body to rotate and bring the club into impact, versus casting it or flipping the club. So sometimes just that little feel, we call it a reverse motorcycle drill, that little feel of what it feels like to release the golf club is all great players need. One more and then I'll film it. This is one of these where there's a couple things that could make it make sense, and I'm not sure which one for you yet. Man, it's close. Man, it's close.
That last hit on my hands are just gonna...
I think it's just gonna come.
Okay.
I think if you reach over the fence, ball slightly forward, and just be more aggressive, I think it's gonna do it. Yeah, I think that's what you do. You need to have that conversation with Jamie, but I think he's gonna love the body position there.
Okay.
Let me get a video of that to send to him. Good. Okay, you're reaching over the fence and aggressive downswing. Yeah, I think the harder you swing, the more the left side of the golf course is gone.
Yeah.
Because the more you think about the harder you swing, the more
Left
open you're going to be. It
yeah.
opens the face,
Okay.
right? And I think you.
I can use my hands.
Correct, correct. That ball still likes to creep back on you. You like that thing back.
It's just I've done it forever.
I know. Like I said, I think the two biggest things for you is going to be alignment and ball forward. Okay, now never do that again. Okay.
Please don't have to do it again. I mean, it's a miss, but it's,
yeah. Look,
the miss is so much better.
Yeah. Look at the. You tell me. You could do better than that.
Yeah. Okay.
That's 50% better, but you could do better, right?
Yep.
Ball should be forward. Get over the fence. That was better. I can see your limitation. When you go like this, when you go to hit here, it's like this wants to hit.
You're saying like here and then it's...
You go like this. You start to turn and either here or here gets tight. I think it's here, gets tight, your hip, and you kind of go this way. When your hip starts to go this way and hits the fence, it tilts your spine towards the target. Even turning the right foot out a little bit would help you a little bit too. Like if like this is just easier, yeah. Make sure that ball is forward. I think we can see that ball position starts to creep off a little bit. You can see every once in a while he still sways a little bit away from the target. That kind of feeds the spine angle problem. These are very common, and these are things that you got to make sure you dial these in before he leaves so we can make sure that his practice gets perfect. The checkpoints should be the alignment and ball position. You just got to get that down. Now it's reach over the fence and be aggressive. That's swinging not down your foot line.
Yep.
So here's how you have to air detect. So watch me. Ball goes left. Okay, give me the things that could make the ball go left.
Swinging that way?
Yep.
Face is super closed.
Or aiming right and having to swing that way.
Okay.
Yep. Alignment looks great.
Okay. Ball forward.
Yep. Now swing to your foot line. Get over the fence. That's the most important. That was so good.
Yeah.
Good.
Like that?
Yep.
Tree?
Yep. Now just concentrate on your foot line. Swing to the foot line. Be aggressive.
Just slightly coming across, huh?
Let's do this one. Let's just so you can feel a different. Do that same setup, and then I'm going to give you a different thought here.
Okay.
This will be the opposite of what you do. So aim a little bit left.
Okay.
Okay. Aim a little bit more left, just a little bit here. Good. Okay. On this one, you're going to take it back like normal, foot line.
Okay.
When you start the downswing, I want you to hit the right side of the white building and draw it in.
Okay.
Okay. Good. Let's do that again. I really want you to start right of the white building, but aim left. Yeah. Just so you can feel the opposite of your swing.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. That was
like that helped with
that was so good. It was ridiculous. Actually, no. You're gonna try. So you're aiming at the tree, and you're gonna swing out to the right a couple more times. Yep, that's good. Do one more. Then we're gonna do aim. You're gonna swing left, and then we're gonna go in the middle.
Okay.
Okay. So aim at the tree, left of the tree, slightly left. Good. Aim to now swing to the right. Good. Tell me what do you feel there? What feels different there?
In terms of my swing,
Yeah.
I mean, it just feels like I'm swinging right.
Okay, so now aim left, and now what you're going to do is you're going to, on the downswing, you're going to swing left.
Okay.
That's too far left aiming. Yep, just left of the tree. Come up and swing to the left. Okay. A lot of times to really be able to understand ball flight, I want to give you a variety of ball flights. In other words, if you can learn to hit a big high draw and then a big high fade, if I say hit it straight, it's the shot that's between those two. You can actually feel the difference, right? If you just try and hit the ball straight, a lot of times you don't know what that feels like. But if you know what a big draw feels like and you know what a big fade feels like, and I say, hey, do something in the middle, a lot of times the ball goes straight. It's just an easier way of, instead of trying to describe mechanics, of feel mechanics. So there's the starting the ball left, there's starting the ball right. Now just start the ball 1 foot right of the tree.
Okay.
I mean, dude, take that to the bank right there. So one thing I'll tell you, guys that hit the ball straight, the best players out there that I've worked with that hit straight, they spend a lot of time hooking balls and slicing balls, so to know where the middle feels like. As weird as it sounds, but you can look how good that was.
I feel like
Yeah,
I'm barely swinging right.
yeah, yeah. That's so good. Yeah, you needed a little bit of that in to out early to be able to go steep late. When he gets over here, I mean, the height is crazy high now, but it's so much better.
Just dynamically, right? He's
So much better.
yeah, he's one flat.
I mean, he's aiming at the trunk of the tree, and he's almost hit it a couple times. So.
We fixed the aimer too, because the aimer early was.
And dude, he would aim right and swing left.
The aim was bad.
Oh, you saw that before?
I was watching. He's like, throw the club down. I'm like, oh,
Well,
boy.
like, being right-eye dominant, like, I'm now just thinking, like,
Yeah, he never
Right
picked
up.
spots before. I'm like, the biggest thing I saw here is he was aiming right and the ball was back.
We're
I'm like,
working
so-
at 1, 2. We're gonna go through his bag again.
Okay,
so
cool.
if we need to
Yeah,
change it.
yeah. Well, you'll watch it and see. He's definitely got some height now. We've got one of the best fitters in the world here, Chris Bango, who's going to be working with Josh. And so I kind of want to update Chris on what we've been working on because it affects on how they fit him, right? So he's been fit before. If we make big modifications to his swing, then we might need to go change things like lie angle, or might even the type of head that he's using in the irons or the driver could change based on swing modifications. Okay, don't hit the electric fence. Just reach over the fence. Good. Even if it feels tight, just hit there. Then to win. That's the kind of miss we want.
Yeah.
Did you feel your restriction there, right?
yeah. So I should mean, it's,
Like it's just so much easier to sway towards me,
yeah.
right? And that's what I don't want you to do right now. Really focus on that. I'm gonna give you a couple feels of that. Set up like you're gonna hit. Take a backswing. Good, and reach over the fence. That's the hard one right there. Don't let me win.
Okay.
Notice that's a big turn,
Yeah.
right? If you just sway, take a backswing, sway, that's a fake turn. Turn. Yes,
Okay.
that's a turn. You're right again. You got to be really careful when you're on the range getting this machine gun here, because you just start creeping right and right, and then pass is going to be off. Ah,
I can feel getting to the positions like it wants to go, which is not.
yeah. And again, there's nothing more frustrating than a physical, but as long as you know it's there. Now just watch me for a second. Take your right foot, all your weight on your right leg. Okay, turn your right toe in. Okay, now rotate. You can feel your wall.
Yep.
Come back over here, turn your right foot out, and rotate. That's freedom.
Okay.
So the more that foot's out, right now we can play around it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. All right.
Now you got to reach over the fence. That's the key. It's easier, right? So you can experiment with that. So trust your foot line and release. Yep, we can play that all day long.
It's just this.
Dude, that's gonna hit the flag. That's 1 foot. So one of the easiest modifications we can do is we can have him flare his right foot out. That instantly adds more range of motion to his right hip. And you can see right away, Josh likes this, right? You can see he's like, wow, that was way easier. So I think this is something he should definitely do in the interim while we go work on that mobility. And who knows, he might take it back to square later, or he might like this and just keep it here. That's how we'd play right now, right?
Okay.
In turning that foot out right now is a cheat until you get this better in the gym.
Okay. Ah, way across it.
Good. At least, well, hey, at least you know what you did. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Go pick your spot again. You start machine gunning, I don't trust anything.
Yes, sir.
One of the traps you fall into as a golfer is we call it raking or machine gunning. You just keep raking the next ball and you just keep hitting and hitting and hitting because you're getting excited. You're working on your game, but a lot of times you're not focusing on the process and all the steps and eliminating the variables. It's not what we do when we play golf. It's not like we're going to hit 12 drives in a row when we go on the first tee. I always like my players to slow down. Let's try and put this into their process. Pick the shot, pick the club you want, pick the ball flight you want, run through your full process, and then see if we can implement the changes we've been doing into your process. Until you can do that, it's not going to show up on the golf course anyway. So if you're going to go play, and I was your caddy, basically what I'd be telling you to do right now, like here's an 8-iron.
Okay.
The most important thing I'd say is, okay, we're going to aim slightly left of your target, if anything, and the ball's going to be farther forward, and you're going to feel like you're going to start at 1 foot right of your target.
Okay.
That's how I would play, assuming you're drawing, obviously.
Yeah,
if you're,
flag, flag.
Yep. Yep. It's another one. When you do it right, I mean, let me ask you a question, does it feel like you're hitting behind the ball?
It being that far forward, it feels like I'm like doing everything in my power to not do that. Just because I've been playing it in the back of my seat for so long.
Yeah. Let me watch one more of these. Which I think that's the correct thing to do.
White flag there, Chris?
Like that's really not crazy forward, right? No, I didn't mean to move it forward. I'm saying don't worry that you've had it too far forward. You're still just swaying. That's the big problem right here. So one of the things I'm noticing as I'm watching Josh practice here is the sway is really definitely part of the reverse spine angle. It's definitely feeding this. And if you remember in the gym, the thing I was concerned about most was his rotation or turning into the right side, especially his lower body in the backswing. So I'm starting to think that maybe I'm giving him something that's physically hard for him to do. So a lot of times we can make some simple modifications to make it easy to swing around those limitations, which gives him time to go fix those in the gym. Take a couple backswings, just right leg like this.
Right leg?
Just left toe, left toes down on the ground, just like back here. Yep. And over the fence. Get over the fence. That's your weakness right now.
Which should be.
Turn your right foot out just a little bit. Yep. Just you should feel like you should be able to.
Yeah. That's much. Okay, white flag.
To the right. Good.
Cheat it. It makes it feel so much better when it's open.
It's a perfect body swing match. We saw this in the gym. We thought there was gonna be something wrong with the backswing in your right leg, and that's what you're struggling with right now. How much weight is right versus left right now?
I got probably 70-30.
Let's go the other way around. Let's load the right first, because maybe that'll be easier for you to stabilize it. And now you're just gonna go left on the downswing. What do you think of that? Was that easier?
Easier. I feel like it was
Let's try
a lot of turn.
Let's try a couple of those.
Okay.
Like 60-40.
Okay.
So as we progress, we're watching Josh hit, I continue to see his biggest struggle seems to be like that stability in that lower body. It seems like that little sway feeds the reverse spine angle. When he does it great, it's great, but when he doesn't, you can see that's really what he's struggling with. So I always start to ask, maybe you can't stabilize the weight shift. So as you weight shift in your right leg, if you're immobile or unstable, it can make you sway. So I kind of want to know, like, what percent of body weight do you have on your right leg or your left leg? Because if you start a lot on your left, you have to shift to the right and stabilize. For a lot of players, they just start on their right and turn, and they don't have to stabilize because they're already there. This is one of those where if it's hard for you to stabilize it, let's just start there. Okay. Turn and just go left. Reach over the fence and just go left. That's interesting. I might like that better. Let me watch a couple of those.
I feel like that allows me to close my back foot just a little bit. I don't feel like I need to be as wide when I'm doing that.
Yep. 60-40.
We like white there?
Yep.
Now you're just going to keep it 60-40 in the backswing. On the downswing, you're just going to go left. You're going to step in the pitch. Yep. I kind of might like that better.
Yeah. More coverage. covered.
Because watch me.
Yeah.
If you go like this, if every time you take a backswing, you go and you're trying to stabilize,
Yeah.
all right, and you're fighting, I'm like,
that away.
just freaking start there and just go. That might, while we work on this in the gym.
Good.
Just make it 64. Don't make it like 100.
Okay.
0. Yep. I think that's easier. Let me see with the 4-iron. Is that easier?
Yeah.
I think so too.
I feel like I get a little less wrist, like handsy with this setup.
That's a good thing.
Swing down the foot line.
60-40 and just rotate. It's so much, I'm telling you, I know that went left, but that is so much better.
It feels like there's less
So
sway.
on this one, if the ball goes left, all I would think of is because you're over here now, if you stay there, you can spin it left, make sure you're aggressive.
Through it, but still staying back up here.
Your backswing's on your right leg, your downswing you need to get left, step into the pitch. Yeah.
Okay.
That was so good, that was so
Felt myself,
close.
like get through it. Too.
Yeah, that was so good. So once we've got the concept down and we got something that he likes, that's something I like, I don't want to just try with all of his clubs, right? Let's just go through and make sure everything is the same and that there's no difference on any other clubs. I think he needs to do this from the pitching wedge all the way to the driver. At least you know, that's taken away the sway problem.
Yeah.
You just couldn't stabilize the weight shift. So if you just start there, I'm always like, if you can't beat it, just join it.
Yeah.
Okay, show me the setup on this one. I want everything to feel like there's more weight. Yeah, I want there. Like, yep. Now in downswing, you can go after it. We're just gonna do a couple exaggerated there. Yeah. Let's do like 2 of those.
Okay.
This is exaggeration, but I like that. Doesn't it feel more powerful when you're on that right? You feel like you can launch it? Yeah. And now you're just gonna step into the pitch. That's so good right there, the driver setup. Yeah, just do that. That's gonna be the easiest for this. Let's go in the gym real quick, because I think some stuff we talk about here might make this easier. So he's liking this, even with his 2-iron, you can see with his driver, he's liking this, and I think we've got a good game plan here. Now I'd like to go in the gym and talk about how we can eliminate some of those limitations so he doesn't have to make these swing modifications. As long as you know what you need to work on, like it's like, right, I watch that, it's like 1 out of 3 right now. Mm-hmm. But the more you do it, it's gonna get better, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When you do it, it sounds great. I think if I showed you a video of running, you'd be like, I can't believe how much you still want to move right.
Yeah.
That's your big kryptonite right now. So really 2 main goals here in the gym. Number 1 is I want to get in front of a mirror just so he can see what it feels like to reach over the fence and not reverse spine angle. Sometimes putting that visual image there can help. And then I want to talk about the exercises to really help unlock this mobility issues in the right. This is something that's going to help him in his football career and his golf game, is to make it easier so he doesn't have to fight these limitations. Stand right here facing the mirror.
Okay.
Right? Watch your right hip as you take a backswing. Good, do it again. This is electric fence. Don't touch this. Okay, when you're at home in front of a mirror, this is the kind of stuff you can't do enough of.
Okay.
Now do it the wrong way. Yep, that's the wrong way. That's death. Get your head over there. Yep. I'm not a huge fan of using mirrors a lot or anything like shafts on the ground. Those are called guidance devices because there's not a lot of great evidence that it helps you motor learn. But I think it's good so he can visually see he's going in the right direction and put a reel and feel together in your brain. So you can see Josh has done this before with his throwing mechanics. He likes it. He can see the difference. Okay, once he's got that, we're going to move to the exercises. Now, where do you feel? Do you feel that more here or here? Where do you feel it's tight? Yeah, okay, so show me what you do for hip mobility right now.
I mean, I would have usually somebody working on me, so they'd be.
Okay, so you get on the table, they do some table stuff. They do a lot of tissue work around the hip joint.
Yeah.
When you go in the gym right now, is it mainly strength training?
Yeah. Most of it's like explosive stuff, like
Yeah.
squats, hex bar, deadlift.
I don't think you need a million exercises, you just need the right 1 or 2 to do this right. Now, I'm not saying this applies to Josh, but I'd say this applies in general to a lot of football players or a lot of baseball players, is that when you go into the gym, what are we doing as a team? We're kind of competing too. And a lot of times it's all about how much weight we can lift, right? And being strong in the NFL is really, really important. And I think it's really easy to get into that trap of just doing lots of strength training. And it's very common for a lot of players not to put the equal amount of effort into their mobility. So I'm just going to make sure Josh is doing that. I think he knows as a quarterback he needs to have that mobility too, but we're going to make sure he's doing the right stuff. I'm going to show you 2 of my favorite exercises that you can just do while you're watching TV. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay, have a seat.
On the ground?
Yep, legs towards me. This is called a hip windshield wiper. So one of the most important things to understand about joint mobility dysfunction is one of the best ways to open up a joint is to distract the joint. Feel like you're pulling it apart. And two of my favorite exercises for this is the hip windshield wipers and the hip 90-90 drills. As you're rotating your hip, you're distracting the joint. And it's amazing. It's like if your knuckle gets stuck and you pop your knuckle, it's kind of doing the same thing to your hip. It's opening up the hip joint, trying to get some mobility. And it's really easy for people to feel where their tightness is. And it's really easy to see how much it changes over time. If you just take your left toe, bring your left toe in, and then take your left toe out. And then out. Okay, now do the right toe. Okay, now do you feel how much harder it is on the right?
On right here.
Yeah, okay. So if you just go back and forth, it doesn't really do anything. But if you, anytime a joint is restricted, if you distract the joint, like when you land on the table, they probably do some distraction in your hip there. Then it makes a big difference. So what I want you to do is we're gonna do left one first, the good one first. You're gonna take your toe towards your body. Now you're gonna try and take your heel towards me and dislocate your hip. As you're dislocating the hip, turn the toe down, good. And come back, try and keep your butt on the ground, yep, and turn in and turn out. Each time you try and distract more. It's like I'm trying to unscrew your hip from the socket. Good, and let's just go back and forth for about 20 seconds. A totally different exercise, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now what's the difference?
Yeah, I mean,
That's what you're fighting.
yeah.
I mean, that's why I want you to understand, like, when you're out there, you're like, man, I don't know why I keep doing this. Look at the difference. Like, if we don't work on this, you're always gonna, or we gotta turn your foot out.
Yeah.
Right? So I think we do both. I love exercises that can highlight your deficits. And you can see here really clearly, and Josh can see it clearly too, on the hip windshield wiper, how far he can turn his left foot in versus his right. So we kind of felt the limitation in the screen. Now you can see it, and it gives him a target. He can see what the normal hip can do on the left, gives him a target for his right one, so he knows, I need to keep working on this. You don't have to build it tonight. It's just something you're going to do every day. I mean, those are like two different animals right there. You can see how different that is. Like I said, this is going to help you life, period, everything. Okay, so that's the first thing I do that, right? Now what I do is I take my hands, put them in front of you. Put your feet are still apart. Rinse, repeat, same thing. Distract. Again, you can watch TV while you're doing this, but I'd like 20 to 30 seconds with both hand positions, hand behind your back and hand in front. Now, after 20 seconds here, you're going to take this foot and put it right next to the knee. Yep. Hands in front, or hand. Repeat. 20 seconds here. After 20 seconds here, you take that foot, cross it over on the other side. Grab onto the hand, both hands onto your knee. Rinse, repeat. In the hip windshield wiper test, moving the foot from across your leg into what I call the hurdle position orients the position of the hip and the pelvis in a different position. So in other words, we're distracting the hip with the hip slightly flexed, and then when we go to the crossover, we're flexing the hip more. We're internally rotating the hip or externally rotating the hip. We're just putting the hip in multiple different positions and then trying to open it up, just to make sure we hit all the restrictions. All those are different pelvic positions. So imagine if you did 30 seconds each way, that'd be 2 minutes. This would be the first exercise while you're watching TV. Imagine what that hip's gonna feel like in a year.
Yeah.
Okay, this is just consistency. You won't have to struggle with any of the stuff we were just struggling with. Okay, that's exercise number one. Will you remember that?
Yep.
Okay, second exercise, that's why I think you don't need a million, you just need to remember the two right ones, is something called the 90-90-90 hip stretch. In the hip 90-90-90 drill, this is something that's working on what's called your connective tissue, your fascia. Now, fascia is like the white part of a steak. It goes throughout your entire body. And what we found over the last 10 years is that that fascia tends to be more restricted than even muscles. But the interesting thing is, like, if you say your hamstring's tight, you're thinking of the muscle in the back of your leg. If I say the posterior part of your body's fascia is tight, well, that starts from the bottom of your foot and goes all the way to your head. So it's not this little area of your body, it's interconnected throughout your entire body. This is for your left hip that you're doing right here. You feel the space underneath your left thigh?
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna try and get rid of that space,
Okay.
right? So the way we're gonna do this is keep in the 90 position. You're gonna take both toes, bring the toes up towards the shins, dorsal leg, good. Pelvis, you're gonna tuck the pelvis. Take your right hand, get it close to your body and sit up as tall as you can. Now you're gonna take the left knee and you're gonna try and distract slightly towards me, yep. Good. Now you're gonna take your left hand, reach your hand like you're Spider-Man, shooting a web, yep, right between your knee and your foot, and you're gonna try and come towards me. That's it. And get your knee towards me, and you feel that left hip ripping apart. You want the good news or the bad news?
Good news.
Good news is that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Bad news is that's the good hip.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So body positioning matters. These are full body types of exercises. Everything matters because we're trying to lock up that fascia line. From your hands all the way to your feet, it's really important to do this properly. And you should do both, by the way.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Okay, so again, you're watching TV. It's not like you're sweating. Yeah. Well, you might be sweating with these. Okay, so toes go up.
Like
yeah, you can already feel it, right? So toes go up. Okay, now you tuck the pelvis. Good. Right knee's gonna come towards me, try and get rid of that space underneath your right thigh. Right hand's gonna shoot the web this way. Sit up taller, and good. Now, if you get to the point where you're good, you can do double spider web. If you're like, screw you right now, keep the hand down. With time, you'll be able to get the hand off the ground.
Yeah.
Keep going. I like to hold this for 60 seconds if you can handle it. Sit up a little bit taller towards me. Remember, this Rome wasn't built in one day. If you need to just do this for 20 seconds now, and then you can go from there. But again, imagine if you did this like every day, just one time. In a year, you won't recognize your hips. And then you slowly come out of this. Go ahead and stand up and walk around for a second, just make sure you can still walk. But you can see, we have to work on this right hip. Okay, so for right now, I would add those two exercises, as simple as that is. There's a million. We can add a million more, but I just feel like it's just consistency doing those.
Yeah.
I think whenever you're doing like your lunges and stuff like that, pay attention. Make sure your right hip's not kicking out. When you play, right foot's turned out, and maybe some practice drills in front of a mirror where you're reaching over the fence, but you're not touching the fence. Let me face the mirror again. Pretend like you're gonna throw a football. Just go through the motion of throwing. Do that one more time. Yeah, see, you don't do it there. Do that, watch your right hip. That's where I wanna go. Like throw one, lean your trunk towards me.
Throw a football?
Yeah, lean your trunk, get your trunk this way, and throw a football this way. Do more, lean your trunk more this way. Yep, that's what you're doing in golf.
Okay.
That make sense?
Yeah.
Like I don't think you would do that in football.
No.
People make the golf swing unathletic. And you can see with Josh, he wasn't really loading his back leg properly. So I was like, well, I know you're pretty athletic in throwing a football, so let me watch you throw a football. And as soon as he throws a football, you'll see he loads his right leg 100%, and then he goes left. Let's just do that when you hit a golf ball. You got it?
Yeah.
I know it's a lot. Any questions for me?
No.
So, okay, so last thing I like to do is tell it back to me. Tell me what you learned.
All right. Right hip, got to work on it. In terms of turning, rotation in my swing.
Tell me the two exercises you're gonna do.
Two exercises I'm gonna do: windshield wipers in the 90-90s.
Yep. How often are you gonna do those?
Once a day.
Perfect. Cool.
For a year straight, and we're gonna see how the hips are after that.
Love it. Good.
For my swing purposes, sequencing is actually pretty good. It's where it needs to be there.
Yep.
In terms of turning, I'm doing a lot of swing.
Yep.
So imagine there's an electric fence turning around
What
it.
does the swing cause? What's the problem with that? Yes, gets your
Spine angle.
head gets in front of your pelvis.
Yeah,
Yep.
We want to stay head behind the pelvis
Yep.
and turn.
Yep.
And as we're coming through, we really want to get to the left side and then swing on our feet line. Thank
Other
you.
than that, take the trophy home. That's it.
We got to win. We got to compete at Tahoe this year, American Century.
Oh, right. Do you playing? Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then we're going to take down our competition.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
All right, man. Any questions on anything?
No, sir. I really appreciate your time.
You got it. My pleasure.
Yeah.
So great day here with Josh Allen here at TPI. I think some of the things you can take away from this, yes, he's a superstar in the NFL. He's an incredible athlete, but he's just like you and me, right? We've got some mobility issues that are affecting our mechanics. And you can see how quickly those can affect your golf swing mechanics, right? Really important that you assess yourself first to see where those problems are. Once you identify those body swing connections, you can start to attack those. And man, the game gets really good really quick. So broad takeaway, as Josh's genie, he asked me for 3 wishes. He asked me for better contact. He asked me to understand his sequencing and to make sure he's not searching. I think we accomplished that today. I think the contact is going to get cleaned up 100% from some of the basic fundamentals of ball position to getting his trunk in the right position at the top of the backswing. His sequencing was great, and I think it's good for him to understand that. If his trunk gets in front of his lower body, that could lead to some sequencing problems, and I think he knows that. And now there's no guessing. I don't think he's searching anymore. So look forward to this really helping Josh, and looking forward to see him out there playing some really great golf on top of that great football. If you like videos like this and more content from my TPI, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button below. We'll keep you notified anytime a new video launches.